a zero to unwavering abundance. So I'm here today to share with you how I was able to manage a budget of $500 per semester. And you may be thinking, that's a little ridiculous. Don't you think that's a stretch? And yes, I can understand while it is on the meager end of, of a budget. I wanted to challenge myself during my last year of college, and believe it or not, I was able to save a pretty significant portion of that money to create a budget and dissect your budget into the most important components that you will need to cover in your expenses. So for me, that was travel, books, personal care items, especially that I'm a female. This applies for male too, but especially females, they need necessary personal items, and a phone bill. So for me, those were the main areas that I need to cover in terms of expenses. I purchased my tickets for transportation, public transportation to be specific, well in advance. Because I live, close to the New York City area, and I went to school upstate, I used either Amtrak or Greyhound. I would use Amtrak when it was time to go to school and time to leave school, and I would use Greyhound during the breaks. So in the fall semester and during the winter break, which is Thanksgiving, and during the spring semester, I would use Greyhound during the spring break. So I would purchase my tickets well in advance, between 2 to 3 months in advance, depending on when they opened the availability to start purchasing tickets. And tickets could range depending on how close to the day you are leaving you purchase it. Tickets could range anywhere from $38 to $100+. So I made sure to purchase my tickets in advance. As a student, after you've used the service for a numerous amount of times, they do give you certain discounts. So sometimes I was able to get discounts as a student, like discounted rates or special promotional discounts. And yes, so every little thing added up. When I purchased in advance, I would generally save an average, like a range between $10 to $70 compared to when I purchased my tickets, like within a week or two from the date of travel. And so it does add up. So during my last semester, I ended up spending between $38 and $50 for travel one way. I either rented books or purchased used books, or just go to the library and use the books. I know that is a hassle for many, and individuals prefer the convenience of just having the book for themselves. But if the money really matters to you and it is not too much for you, especially if you live on campus and you have the library of your school is accessible, why not save the money on textbooks that cost a fortune these days, and just use the book at the library that your your professor placed on reserve or that is available in an older edition on the shelves. So it is just up to you. Multiple students may be using that same textbook at the library, and so for me, I just had to plan out my days to ensure that I had sufficient time to do what I needed to do. But it is up to you whether or not that would be considered an inconvenience to you. So it may also depend on your major and the demand for the textbooks based on, you know, the makeup of the students. I took things from home that I either didn't finish or I had a brand new, and so I didn't have to repurchase that. I planned in advance. I wrote out everything that I needed for the semester, because if I had to go and repurchase those items, like literally everything, I ensured that everything was packed. The only downside to that is that your luggage will be heavier. So if you have, say, a mandatory 1 luggage weight, you may want to consider carrying a backpack as well, if that is allowed. Or you may have to end up purchasing that, and you may have to account for that in your budget. But for me, that is what I did, and I carried 2 luggages, so it wasn't necessarily a major deal for me. But for you, and I'm a minimalist in terms of what I carry to school, but it just depends on what you deem important, and if valuing money is and saving it for something else is what you want to do, then it's something to consider. I was on the T-Mobile network, and I was paying $70 per month for an unlimited plan, and I reduced it to the $25 plan where it's unlimited talk and text with 1 or 2, I forgot now, because it's been a long time since I switched from T-Mobile, but I think it was 1 gigabyte of data and Wi-Fi calling, unlimited talk and text. So I switched to a $25 plan per month, and then when I realized that I was not using the $25 plan per month as intended, I switched to a $3 plan per month. They're now phasing that out, but it's a pay-as-you-go, and so you would top up your account with at least $12 per month, and that $12 would serve you for 3 months if you did use it the intended $3 per month. But usually you would use a little bit more than the $3. For me, at least, I would use a little bit more than the $3. But if you're not using your phone and you use apps or to text your friends and stuff, then you might as well consider invest in a phone plan that you can only use on an emergency basis. And for me, that worked well. I made sure that it always had sufficient balance, especially when I'm going out. But if you're a careful person, that should not be too much of a big deal. Or if you're not a phone user as well. I also use apps and to call my friends and family. Wi-Fi calling was no big deal because my school had Wi-Fi available 24/7, and I didn't have a problem speaking to my friends that way because most of my friends were on apps anyways, and family members as well. In addition to that, I also used apps to receive discounts or cashback, which helped me to save money. And if I wanted to, I could cash out those like the cash that I earned. And for females mostly, guys may still need products that, you know, help to keep their hygiene or stuff like that, but for women, sanitary products, I invested in reusable sanitary products. And some people may be like, ew, that is so gross, but for me it was no big deal, because I am very comfortable with my body, and I don't like, I'm not grossed out easily. So and for women, I know that you know, feminine products may be really expensive, so I invested into reusable feminine products. It's something you should consider. Not only is it great for the environment, but it is really great on your pocket as well. And if you're comfortable with your body and you're knowledgeable about your body, it should come as, you know, no big deal. But it's something to look into. It's not for everyone, but if you're willing to, you know, if you're willing to do it, then, and you know how to take care of yourself, then it will come as second nature to you. And that's it for me. So those were the things that worked for me, in terms of, you know, how I was able to budget with only $500 during the semester. You could look in the description box below to see the apps and stuff that I use. These are not sponsored. There is a disclaimer that I should specify though. If you live on campus, this may be easier for you than if you live off campus, since off campus individuals may have various obligations outside of personal items that they need to purchase. In addition to that, I mostly ate on campus since I had a meal plan, and so I don't account for that in my budget. And believe it or not, I was able to save $250 out of all of that when I covered everything. So it is possible if you do it right. And if you want, I can break down how I was able to do that further steps. But this is what I have shared with you so far, and if you want more details, I could make another video about that. But it is possible if you go about it the smart way. Alright, that is all for now. Until next time, have a great day.